Welcome to the Deck Dive. Today, we're looking at something pretty ambitious, a vision that wants to reshape how we think about health. Not just fixing illness, but actually engineering optimal lifelong vitality.
Hmm.
Imagine a future where you're not just reacting to health problems, but actively designing your well-being. Basically, a wellness care revolution with you in charge. So today we're going deep into this HEG, Eco-Spirit, Village Vision, and the whole health engineering systems idea behind it. We've got a stack of sources here, articles, notes, research, laying out this, well, really different approach.
Yeah, exactly. And our job today is to unpack how this whole thing aims to shift us away from just, sick care, reacting when things go wrong, towards a really proactive wellness care model. It's about using the latest science, the tech, everything to unlock your potential for resilience, performance, and finding real meaning, what they call being alive with a life purpose.
Okay, let's get into this Eco-Spirit Village. The sources call it a beacon of hope, planned for like a desert island. It's meant to foster wholeness, that feeling of being really alive, compassion, inner peace, a whole peace-conscious vibe reflecting, they say, a true aloha spirit. Sounds pretty idyllic. And the scale of it, I mean, it's huge. You've got the basic, sure, hotels, cafes, restaurants, all focused on optimal nutrition. But then, bam, these flagship park destinations, world-class wave parks. Did you see the number? 2,400 rides per hour.
Wow, it's a lot of waves.
Right. And adventure fitness parks with ninja courses, zip lines, indoor skiing, even indoor skydiving. It's not just a resort. It feels more like an experience engine.
And that ties right into the core mission, doesn't it? All that activity feeds into optimizing performance. The ultimate performance center sounds key here. It's not just some fancy gym. It's designed as this central hub to boost performance for, well, everyone, all ages, all abilities.
So wheelchair users right alongside elite athletes.
Exactly. And the philosophy is interesting. Less is more, conscious training. They integrate 12 different fitness systems, Kenneth J stuff, ATG, various breathwork methods. It's about being really intentional and efficient.
Makes sense. And beyond the physical training.
Yeah, there are these specialized institutes driving the innovation side. The Eco Spirit Institute, that's about whole system ecology and new environmental ideas, like this xenohormesis farming. Sounds complicated, but it's actually kind of brilliant.
Xenohormesis. Break that down.
Okay, so it's about deliberately giving plants a little bit of stress, maybe less water or a bit of cold, just enough to make them produce more of their powerful natural compounds, these extra nutritional constituents. The idea is your food becomes so nutrient dense, maybe you don't need as many supplements.
Interesting. Food as medicine, but supercharged. What else?
There's the HEG Longevity Institute. They actually frame aging as a health condition to
Why?
be tackled. So aiming to slow aging, lower your biological age.
Not just your birthday age.
Right. Then the Ultimate Performance Institute, focusing on the best performance tech,
Yeah.
offering certifications globally,
Mhm.
and an Institute for Financial Engineering to actually fund these kinds of sustainable projects.
So wrapping this part up, what it means for you, the listener, it sounds like it's about creating a whole environment that really sparks purpose, builds community, and leaves a legacy, moving past just getting by to
That's
really
a
thriving.
blueprint for flourishing.
Okay, so we've seen the big picture, this amazing village environment. Now let's zoom in, bring it right down to the personal level. How does this translate to your health blueprint? The sources talk about becoming the CEO of your own well-being, really understanding and optimizing your internal ecosystem, your cells, mitochondria, microbiome, the whole inner world.
And the absolute foundation, where it all starts, is diet. They call it the cornerstone of self-healing. Food isn't just calories here. It's complex information for your body. They lean heavily on Dr. William Lai's Eat to Beat Disease ideas, focusing on strengthening your body's 5 natural defense systems every day.
5 defense systems. Okay, what are they?
Right, so first is angiogenesis. That's about healthy blood vessel growth. Super important. Think foods like capers, onions. Then regeneration, which means supporting your stem cells, your body's internal repair team. Certain compounds, like garcinol, are mentioned. Third, your microbiome. Feeding the good gut bacteria, lots of plant foods, avoiding stuff that causes inflammation. Fourth, DNA protection, helping your body fix DNA damage. Things like berry juices, broccoli, turmeric are good examples. And fifth, immunity, both boosting it when needed and calming it down when it's overreacting. Plus, there's this mito food plan specifically for mitochondrial health, anti-inflammatory, low glycemic, good fats. Keeping those cellular powerhouses happy is key for energy, longevity, everything.
Okay, diet makes sense, foundational. But then the sources get into a live water. bio-optimized hydration. This sounds different. It's not just about purity, right? They talk about bioenergetically alive water. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, it's definitely a step beyond your standard filter. The alive water idea starts with ultra-pure water, yes, but then they reintroduce specific trace minerals, magnesium, potassium, silica, things found in natural healing springs. They aim for a slightly alkaline pH. And critically, they focus on maximizing dissolved molecular hydrogen H2 and optimizing oxygen levels. These molecules are apparently really important for cellular function, fighting oxidative stress.
Okay, minerals, H2, oxygen. Still sounds somewhat physical, but then
Right, then comes the really novel part. Energetic and informational infusion, basically trying to structure the water. Think of it like encoding water with beneficial frequencies or information. They mention drawing on ideas from voice spectral analysis, even scalar energy. The goal is water that hydrates better, helps nutrient absorption on a cellular level because it's, well, energetically optimized.
energetically optimized water. Okay, it's a lot to take in. So from food in this alive water, where do we go next?
Next up is nutraceuticals, targeted support for cellular vitality. And these aren't just like your basic multivitamin.
Right, more specific.
Exactly. Compounds chosen specifically to target longevity pathways in your biochemistry. For example, NAD plus boosters like NMN or NR. Crucial for stem cells,
Yeah.
fighting that low-grade chronic inflammation or inflammaging. NAD plus is like, essential fuel for your cellular engines.
Okay. What else stands out?
Melatonin. We usually think sleep, right? But they call it a miracle molecule, a master antioxidant hormone. And get this, the concentration in your gut is apparently 400 times higher than in your brain.
Wow, 400 times. So it's doing way more than just regulating sleep.
Seems like it. Then there's spermidine. It activates autophagy, that's your cell's cleaning process, clearing out junk, linked to longer lifespan, better health span.
Autophagy, I've heard of that, like cellular spring cleaning.
Pretty much.
Hmm.
Also DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, it's called a universal solvent because it helps other beneficial compounds penetrate cells better, kind of like a delivery helper. They also mentioned the concept of ion gut health, terahydrite for keeping your gut lining strong, and things called true binders to help escort toxins out of the body safely.
Binders for detox. Okay.
And even simple things like sodium bicarbonate baking soda for pH balance, CO2 levels, which are surprisingly important for longevity apparently, and even athletic performance, often paired with apple cider vinegar.
Baking soda. Who knew? Okay, this is painting a really detailed picture of optimizing the internal environment. So we've covered the village, the diet, the water, the targeted nutraceuticals. This deep dive is really showing a holistic view, isn't it? And now we're moving into optimizing the physical body more directly and also regeneration.
Exactly. For body optimization, it goes beyond just standard exercise. They talk about natural movement, like MovNat, moving the way bodies are designed to move in the real world, plus hybrid strength training and these becoming bulletproof systems that aim to sort of reset your nervous system for better resilience.
Reset the nervous system. Interesting. And what about recovery and repair?
That's where regenerative and detoxification therapies come in. Supporting stem cells, they mention fasting as a natural way to boost their production.
Right. Fasting boosts stem cells. Good reminder.
And therapies like true cellular detox pathways, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, HBOT.
HBOT, yeah, breathing pure oxygen under pressure for healing.
Right. And something called O3D infusion. This combines ozone, which can support the immune system, methylene blue.
Methylene blue? Isn't that a dye?
It is, but it's getting a lot of attention for boosting mitochondrial efficiency. And it's interesting because it can cross the blood-brain barrier, so potential cognitive benefits too.
Okay, wow. So methylene blue for mitochondria and brain function.
And the D in O3D is often red light therapy for cellular energy and repair. So it's a combo approach.
Makes sense. Now this brings us to mind and spirit optimization, fostering inner peace, coherence. This is where things get maybe a bit less tangible for some people, right? With talk of biofields, scalar energy, how does this fit into engineering health?
That's a fair question. How do you engineer coherence? Well, the sources approach it systematically. For stress management, they look at proven things like meditation, but also vagus nerve toning.
Like using devices, maybe?
Yeah, like the Sensate devices mentioned, which uses vibrations to stimulate the vagus nerve and induce calm. And also energetic systems like NES Health, which aims to identify and release emotional blockages by looking at distortions in the body's energy field, or biofield.
Biofield. Basically the body's subtle energy field, like ki or prana.
Exactly. It's framing those traditional concepts in a more systems-oriented way. For cognitive enhancement, it's intellectual stimulation, neurofeedback systems like Neuroptimal that train your brainwaves,
Brain training.
and compounds we mentioned, like methylene blue again. Then for overall energetic and informational coherence, this is where technologies like Metatron, RegenU3, AMP Coil come in. They're described as tools that interact with the body's energy patterns at a subtle level, aiming to restore balance. Think of it like fine-tuning an instrument.
So correcting energetic imbalances.
That's the idea. Even scalar energy fields, like from the E system, are explored. The claim there is activating light within DNA and raising cellular voltage, which is linked to cell health. It's definitely pushing boundaries.
It really sounds like the whole vision relies heavily on these, well, cutting-edge innovations, moving way beyond just reacting when you get sick.
Absolutely. It's proactive engagement. And we should probably dig a bit deeper into that category of digital frequency energetic therapies, take infopathy, or digital drugs. Now, this sounds pretty sci-fi, I know.
Digital drugs, yeah, that definitely catches the ear.
The concept is that cell receptors don't just recognize a molecule's shape, but also its electromagnetic signal. So theoretically, you could record that signal and then imprint that information onto water or deliver it directly to the body to stimulate a similar biological effect without the actual substance.
Whoa. So the information of the drug, not the drug itself.
That's the hypothesis they're exploring.
Yeah.
Then you have NES infoceuticals. These are actual liquid remedies, but they're imprinted with bioinformation using light and magnetic fields. The goal is to correct imbalances in the body's underlying energy control system.
Imprinted liquids.
All right.
Okay.
And somavedic technologies. These are devices claiming to structure or harmonize water, making it more like mountain spring quality water that cells can supposedly absorb better.
So multiple approaches to improving water beyond just purity.
Seems so. And other tools get mentioned too. AMP Coil using PSMF for cellular repair, Metatron using bioresonance to find energetic stressors, Zyto scanning for biomarker responses. It's a whole suite of tools aimed at that subtle energetic level.
Okay, so we have the energetic and informational side. What about therapies targeting the cells more directly, the regeneration aspect?
Right, the regenerative and cellular therapies. The sources mention things like VSLs, very small embryonic-like stem cells.
Embryonic-like.
Yeah, but importantly, they're naturally found in your own blood. They're pluripotent, meaning they can become different cell types needed for repair. So activating your own VSLs is a potential strategy. And also senolytics. These are compounds designed to specifically find and destroy senescent cells. Those are old, dysfunctional cells that hang around and pump out inflammatory signals, contributing to aging and disease.
Clearing out the zombie cells?
That's the popular term, yeah. And tying all this personalization together is decentralized diagnostics and monitoring. This is huge. It means getting detailed biomarker, data biological age, DNA insights, microbiome analysis easily, maybe through wearables or simple devices you can use at home or on-site.
Like the Lumen device for metabolism? Or Anura for facial blood flow?
Exactly, those kinds of tools. They give you real-time personalized feedback. It puts you in the loop. This is the essence of P4 medicine. Predictive, personalized, preventive, and participatory. You're an active participant.
Right, it's not just the doctor telling you things once a year, it's continuous insight.
Precisely. And we should also mention the physical and environmental modalities, things like HBOT, which we touched on.
CVAC.
CVAC. What's that? Eases cyclic variations in air pressure, kind of like high-tech altitude training, but faster cycles, meant for recovery, resilience, and the superhuman protocol. That combines PEMF, exercise with oxygen therapy, EWOT, and photobiomodulation, red light therapy. A powerful combo for boosting cellular energy and recovery.
Okay, that's a lot of technology and therapies all converging. Which brings us to the bigger picture again, this idea of health engineering systems, HES, driving a global wellness care revolution.
Yes. HES is really the framework for all of this. It's fundamentally holistic, mind, body, spirit integrated. It's performance-based, data-driven. You track things continuously to see what's working, ensuring there's a real ROI on your health efforts, so to speak.
ROI for health. Interesting way to put it.
Well, it emphasizes value, and it takes a risk management approach to healthcare cost by focusing intensely on prevention and catching things early. It's also about bridging that gap, between amazing scientific discoveries and what actually gets used in practice. The Health Engineering Group, HEG, positions itself as a global health systems integrator, building alliances to make this new ecosystem happen.
And the engine behind a lot of this innovation you mentioned earlier, Cytosolve.
Ah, yes. Cytosolve. This is really fascinating. It's a computational systems biology platform. What's revolutionary is its ability to virtually test health products, supplements, therapies, whatever, for efficacy and toxicity
Oh.
before they go into expensive, lengthy trials.
So like simulating the effects on a computer in silico testing.
Exactly. In silico experimentation, it models incredibly complex biological interactions. They can even model how things like those structured water properties might influence cells. This brings a level of scientific rigor and standardization that's often missing, especially with newer or natural approaches. It allows for robust analysis, certifications. It speeds everything up safely.
So it accelerates innovation by testing ideas virtually first. That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Hugely powerful.
This whole conversation, it paints a picture that's not just about avoiding sickness, is it? It's about actively designing for optimal function, for vitality, for, well, happiness, becoming the architect of your own health.
That sums it up beautifully.
So thinking about all this, what does it really mean for you listening? I think it's an invitation, really. A call to see health not as something passive, but as this active, integrated state of real vitality. It's
Wow.
about smartly using technology, yes, but also ancient wisdom, building self-awareness, and tapping into your body's amazing capacity to heal and adapt.
Absolutely. What this deep dive has shown is a vision meticulously engineered for human flourishing. It's not just adding years to life, but adding life, real, vibrant life, purpose, joy to those years.
So here's a thought to leave you with. If our bodies really are these incredible self-healing systems, and maybe symptoms are just, as one source put it, messengers from the healer within, what's one small, intentional step you could take starting today to listen just a little bit better to your own internal ecosystem? What's one thing you could do to support that inner healer?